Fine, no.
Okay. Welcome back to the From the Fabricator podcast. I'm your host, Max Perlstein. Thank you so much for joining me once again on a journey through our wonderful industry. And today, we're talking showers and shower enclosures with three of the best around. And I'm really excited. Kicking it off with Danny Donahue from FHC. He's, like I said to him, he's the OG. He's an unbelievable shower door expert and doing great stuff for our industry. And then ending it with Christina Elia, and Shannon McKinney from the Shower Door Co-op. They're doing great things and important things. And if you're in shower space, whether you're a installer or a vendor, you want to listen to that closely and pick up and go with them. Before we get to those interviews, I have to talk to you about GFAB, Glass Fabrication Conference coming up with NGA. You're going to hear a lot more of that. So if you're like listening to this because you want to hear about the shower side, chances are you are interested in that fabrication end of it. You might be a fabricator. If you are a fabricator, you got to be there. Go to glass.org, hit the events button, look for the Glass Fabrication Conference, GFAB, and join us. And there'll be a lot more coming on that very soon. Also, got to thank the folks from FHC. When it comes to true innovation in frameless shower hardware, one company is leading the pack. While others reheat and repackage more of the same, FHC Frameless Hardware Company has the experience, track record, testing certification, awards, and more importantly, the patents to back said claims. They consistently deliver new products designed to make your shower installs faster, safer, and more profitable. Built by the glazing industry for the glazing industry, FHC has your back. Visit FHCUSA.com to see the difference between rhetoric and true innovation. And on that note, you're going to hear about some true innovation from a true innovator, and Danny Donahue. Let's get it started. We start with him, and then on the backside, we've got Christina and Shannon. Good stuff, all about the shower world, folks. Settle in and take it all in. Really good people, and I'm glad you're here to listen. Let's go to Danny. Okay. Kicking it off, I've got Danny Donahue of FHC Brand Manager. You can find them online at fhc-usa.com. If you listen to this pod, I say it a billion times anyway, but it's great to have Danny with me. It's a guy that I'm excited to get to know a little bit because I see him running around, but I've never had like a deep conversation with you. So Danny, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Well, thank you very much for having me on, Max. And I kind of feel the same way. I've been following you and watching, or I should say, reading from the Fabricator at the back of the Glass magazine for, however long you've been doing it. That's how long I've been reading.
Thank you.
Feels like it's I think we're in a mutual admiration society here. So there you go.
Awesome. So I always start with the kind of the background. And so tell me about yourself, where you were born, grew up, went to school, and, kind of your path to today at FHC.
Sure, I'd be glad to. I was born in Torrance, California. I've lived all my life in Southern California, first and foremost. So I don't know anything other than that living wise. I've certainly traveled outside, but been down here in Southern California. About 9, we moved to San Juan, South Orange. It's kind of a nicer area, and it's really it was a real different kind of thing. And I went to Dana Hills High School down there in Dana Point, and after I got out of high school, kind of beat around with a few jobs, and I finally got hired on as a glazer when I was in my mid-20s. And I was working at a company in South Orange County, and we were a full-service residential kind of glass company. I really liked the idea that you could go into an opening that there's nothing there, and with the materials and the products you have, you're going to build a structure that's completely its own structure right there, right in someone's bathroom. I love that. And so then frameless showers kind of came along halfway through. So I started working at the glass company in '86, and I left in '97 and went to a small company people in the glass industry may know of as C.R. Lawrence. Yeah,
Gotcha.
little bitty place. Yeah, I went there in '97.
Okay.
So I had been a glazer for 11 years, and I installed thousands of showers, measured them, did all that kind of stuff. And I went along to a CRL as a technical advisor. The owner of the company at the time, Don Freeze, went to C.R. Lawrence, and the idea there was that Mr. Freeze came up with the idea of let's train our customers to know these very technical things so that they will come to us both for consultation and for knowledge, and of course to buy our hardware, whatever that may be. For me, of course, it was frameless showers. So this new technical sales department was created, and there was three of us in it. And by the time I left CRL, it was a department of 45.
Wow.
So the idea of technical sales really, really took off and really, I mean, if you give them a fish or if you teach them to fish kind of thing. So our idea was we wanted to teach everyone to fish. And the better that they do their job, the more success they have, the better they're going to have success with us. So I was at and left and came to FHC. Yeah, and I've been here for a little over 5 years since, and watched this company go from, the first 35 employees. Now we've got a couple of hundred employees, and that brings me to where I'm sitting in an office talking to Max Pearlstein. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love the past and love the process. And technical sales is again, Mr. Freeze was ahead of his time. That was that's
Exactly.
something people are dying for now, and here he was ahead of it 20 years.
Yeah, and that's not always an easy thing to find, to call a company and really get solid technical help. Sometimes it takes some digging around. Sometimes you just don't get it. That's something that we kind of pride ourselves on here.
For sure, for sure. Let's talk quickly about FHC. They obviously sponsor this podcast, which I'm very grateful for. But those who may not know what FHC does, can you give me an elevator pitch of FHC?
Sure. Yeah, FHC is a full service glazing manufacturer. And, we live by the words of innovation and experience. The people that are here have been in this business a very, very long time. Well, every person around me has a really long time. There are no newbies here. And what we offer is we offer glass industry, both with distribution and manufacturing. We have an entire floor dedicated to nothing but manufacturing, and we offer architectural hardware, railing hardware, standard storefront, and of course, my favorite, frameless shower hardware.
Right. Right. And so let's just jump into that. So I've got Danny Donahue from FHC, FHC-USA.com is the website. Shower doors. You're like the OG in the shower door world. You're the guy. Most respected. You've done so much from the NGA level and so on. Have you been surprised at the explosive growth that frameless showers have had? I mean, you've been around and you've been kind of on the front lines. Has the growth surprised you at all?
Well, I will say that early on it did surprise me. We got to a point, I feel like in the early 2000s, maybe even at 2010 or so, where I was thinking, okay, this has just got to level out, because year after year we saw growth, 10%, 12%, real solid growth in the frameless showers, in that product line. And I kept thinking it's got to reach a point. It's got to reach some sort of maxed out point. I've long since abandoned that now. I don't find any limit to this, because you know what? It used to be that the only houses that got frameless shower doors were the $1 million houses on the water. That's
Right.
how they were, because they were priced so high, $4,000 for a single door. Only the very wealthy could actually afford something like that. Now, you see them in average homes, just regular everyday homes. It doesn't have to be some crazy special, $1 million, oceanfront property.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it really has developed nicely, and a lot of it has to do with the technical expertise that you and others have brought to the space that has made more competent installers out there, and I think that's a big thing.
That's
But what do you think are the biggest issues that they're facing these days, and what are the solutions that they may not be aware of, that it's something that you have it like, here, I can help you. Talk about the adventures that the installers have these days and how you can help.
Sure. The installers today, I mean, they're facing the same things that we've always faced, but so things have not changed too much in that way. I mean, the tools are still the tools, the hinges are still the hinges, everything else. I think what gets in the way for people sometimes is they get a pride thing and they don't want to ask for help, and they feel like they have the answers, and that's it. Or they feel like, well, there is no answer. I know everything, so there's no answer. Well, sometimes there is an answer, and sometimes to get other people's opinion about something can really open some eyes. I've talked to many, a lot of what I do is really just consultation. We're just throwing ideas back and forth. Two people who know the business talking about the business. And sometimes it's just they just didn't see something. They didn't know something existed. They didn't know either a product or existed to do, to get over some sort of a strange application. So I think it's really just being open to learning and being open to there may be another way of doing things. And then, of course, always the standby issue for people out in the field is your door going to slip? That seems to be the question most people ask. I mean, if there's a failure on a frameless shower hinge, it generally is the door slipping. It's not the finish or that kind of stuff, although that comes up. And callbacks are the worst. I mean, as soon as you get a callback, you've lost money because now you're taking away time from producing money and going thing that's already been paid for. So yeah, I think we have a lot to offer people who need to be able to reach out and be humble and say, you know what, maybe I do need some assistance. Maybe there's another way to do this. I have the benefit of talking to people all across the country. I get everybody's opinion all
Yeah.
over the country. So I'm not that special. I just listen to people and I know what they do and what works and what doesn't work.
And I think what makes you unique is that you've been doing it for so long and you've heard so many different angles. You're almost like the clearinghouse. So I doubt that. Do you ever get something where somebody calls you and you scratch your head and say, "I've never heard of that before"? I mean, have you gotten any of that
Every once
recently?
it
Because I
comes
think you've
up,
heard everything.
just when you think you've heard everything, you know you haven't. Yeah, because something wild and weird, and I'm like, wow, that is something I just have not seen before. But for the most part, being in the field, I can visualize what they're trying to tell me. That is a big thing. Communication,
Yeah.
visualizing what the customer is trying to tell you that they're seeing in the field. I have a knack for that because I've been in there and I've done it. So I can relate to what they're saying. And they in turn trust me now because I've shown that I relate to what they're saying. So
Perfect, perfect. And yeah, we are going to transition to what's new and some of the what's in our world. But I always break up the podcast about halfway through with a fun question. And for you, it's one of my favorite fun questions. What's your favorite sport and sports team? So Danny Donahue, who are you rooting for, and what's a sport that is number one on your list?
well, it's tough for me to say because I really have two, but I'm gonna go. If I had to say one, it would be football. I mean, and I'm a Rams fan. I've been a Rams fan all my life. Even when my team abandoned me in 1996 and Georgia Frontiere moved them to St.
Wow.
Louis and backed up the Brinks truck, I still followed them and I was still a fan of them. And when they came back, I'm sure you can imagine how ecstatic I was. And they had a tremendous year last year. Matt
Yep.
Stafford won the most MVP. He's coming back again. I mean, they were a point away from going to the Super Bowl. So, and I feel they would have probably done well. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, huge Rams fan and also baseball. I mean, and I'm gonna really make people upset. I'm an Angels fan and a Dodgers fan. I
Wow.
know, crazy, right? I mean, how can two things exist in the same place? I don't know, but as I've gotten older, I've decided I don't have to have one team. It's okay to like two teams,
Sure.
an American League team and a National League team. In the Dodgers, I went to a World Series game this last
Nice.
2025. I went to an NLC championship game in 2025, and those are two games that that will be with me the rest of my life. I saw the team that won arguably one of the best World Series that's ever happened.
Yeah.
I saw them at that World Series, so extremely excited for the Dodgers.
Very cool. And it's funny because, the Dodgers are definitely in the haves category and the
Oh,
Angels are
for
in the
sure.
have-nots. And the Angels have been jinxed as an organization. I mean, my
They have
gosh,
been.
zero luck. And the Dodgers are kind of blessed. So you definitely have both worlds there covering it with both of those teams.
Well, the frustrating thing is that there was a time before Shohei got traded over to the Dodgers. There was a time when the Angels had like of the last eight MVP, had six of them
Yeah.
with Mike Trout three and Shohei Ohtani with three.
Yep.
And for all that, they playoffs.
Y- y-
I don't understand what happens there. So yeah, you're right. The have-nots, I think it's ownership, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, it's tough being an Angel fan. It really is.
So let's jump into NGA. I've got Danny Donahue, FHC, FHC-USA.com is the website. You do great work over there. You've got a lot of things going on. Anything new in the works over on the NGA, task group side? Any recent items that you want to put out?
Well, there's nothing that we're really putting up. What we did last year is we decided as a group that we would have some sort of a presence at the NGA, and I'm sure you probably saw this last year at Glass Build over in Orlando, that we set up these showers like a measuring challenge to be able
Yeah.
to have people come and visit something like the full scale shower and measure it, and how do you measure it, and how do I measure it. But the big hit of the show was the oh no shower. We
Yep.
installed this shower that was terrible, terrible gaps possible. The people really took to that. They really enjoyed that part of it this year. But
Can't
as
wait.
far as like business goes, I think we're pretty well caught up on that. We published the frameless shower design and installation manual a couple of years ago, and that's, you know, a huge document. So what's next for us? I mean, we'll just wait and see what the industry needs, and we're there to help.
Perfect, perfect. And you guys are always there to help. And the shower door co-op folks are fantastic. That's for you being a shower door aficionado and one of the guys that has made such a difference in our world. Seeing a group like that come together has to be, kind of like a piece of slice of heaven for you because they're doing good stuff, right? I mean, you got to love it.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I mean, from the very first thoughts of this, just a couple of years or so ago, I was right there with them in the room when they were talking about it. Being a vendor, I don't have much of a place in them,
Right.
in their organization other than to sponsorship or, give like webinar or something like that, kind of speak to them. But oh, I really love what they're doing. And the two ladies behind it, Christina and Shannon, they are just solid, solid people, really good people, sharp, very, very sharp. I'm amazed at how unbelievably organized they are. They have everything figured out. I attended their yearly meeting at Glass Build in Orlando. And when they went over their business and who's taking care of treasury and who's doing this and who's doing that, and they've just got it all figured out. And I think they're doing great things. And I think it's only good for the industry. Only good.
Truly, truly. And they're coming up next on this podcast. So you'll be able to hear more from Shannon and Christina, great people, and they'll dive a little deeper into what they do. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into what you have going on. I'm curious, what do you got new and happening at FHC? What's the hot trends? Talk to me about some of the things that you're pushing out there that will kind of get the audience excited.
New things at FHC, there are several, and they are pretty big. We last year introduced a whole new gasket for our shower door product line. It is a factory bonded, recessed gasket, and it was previously patent pending. Well, last week we received our official patent on it, so we now have that as a patented product and using EPDM gaskets, and it's a game changer. The gaskets don't move, they don't slip, nothing comes out of adjustment, the door stays put. They are super solid and very, very good. We're actually testing them here at our own facility, which we got to get you out to this facility at some point, Max. We
Yes,
got to get you to the campus.
yes,
But
yes. Go ahead.
we we are testing them ourselves. We're not relying on testing being conducted elsewhere. So we have, 100,000 cycles, 200,000. We even ran one door to 1 million cycles. And the glass never slipped after 1 million cycles. Now, the inside of the hinge was trash, but the glass did not slip. That's what we were looking at in that particular test. The other test, 100,000 cycles, 200,000, the insides are perfect, so there's no problem there. Also, another thing we have going on is all of our clamps, the fixed panel clamps that either can be glass to glass or wall mounted, whatever the case, all of those clamps now are being adhered to the surface as well. So no more loose clamps sliding around and moving around on you and having to try and push them in place, adjust them. All the clamps are bonded to or all the gaskets are bonded to the clamp, I mean to say, and that's how all my clamps are being received now. So once again, things to just make it better for the installer. And now I'm going to lower the real big one on you here.
Bring
And
it.
that is this. This is an exclusive. We have come up with and developed a hydraulic hinge. It's a hinge that will slow close, like people are asking for. Hey, have you got a slow close hinge? Have you got a soft close hinge? Anything like that? Previously, you'd have to go to a big, bulky, ugly hinge that comes in two colors, and or you go with this other one from a different country that out and just what we have now is we have a hydraulic system that is patent pending as well, and it goes into my standard hinges, my Glendale hinge, my Venice hinge, my normal hinges have this fitting in them.
Wow. Is
That
that
is
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
so it goes in all the regular cutouts. The template is just going to be boom. It's all these hinges. It's the same as my regular hinges. So they look and act and behave the same, except they've got this hydraulic closure to them that closes the door the last 30 degrees, slowly closes. It's beautiful.
That is huge. And so is that going to be on every hinge, or is that like a separate order, the separate order that is in the same sort of style of hinge? I mean, is it going to be, it's not a standard item, right? I mean, it's something that's got to be still
Yeah,
in a second category.
it is. It is 100% a second category because it's not the same as a regular hinge. So it's literally the same exact style of that hinge, but it just has a hydraulic component inside. So yes, it'll have a different part number, different price point, and it's going to behave differently. It's a completely different hinge, but we kept it looking the same and same cutout in the glass.
And that's huge because, like you said, I mean, in the past, if you wanted this, those were bulky. They were ugly, and so the fact that you can
Yeah,
knock off, or repeat, imitate what people are used to, and have that hydraulic angle to it. I mean, this is the first I'm hearing about it. And I'm like jumping out of my skin here. That's exciting. Very exciting.
it is very exciting. People who know, and it's like that's going to be a big thing. It's already approved. It's already on order. I'll have them at the end of May.
Awesome, awesome. And
Now,
before we
it's
go
not
ahead,
going to be every single hinge I own.
okay.
So just it'll be the most popular ones, wall mount ones, and 180 glass to glass hinges. That's it. For now. We'll see if we end up exploding it out for everything else. But as an initial offering, I think it's a pretty solid offering.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Very excited to see it. And I have many thoughts that are blowing through my head right now. I've got Danny Donahue of FHC, brand manager, FHC-USA.com. A lot of and everything that Danny's talking about you can find on FHC-USA.com. So check that out. For me, this is probably my favorite question, one of my favorite questions of all time that I've come up with. And I can't wait. Being the shower door guy that you are, I'm very curious on what you have at
Oh,
home as a shower enclosure. I'm very curious. If you tell me you have a curtain, I'm going to just shut the podcast off and walk away. What do you got at home as a
good.
shower
You
enclosure?
should shut. No, I have three showers at home, and
Okay,
all of them are frameless showers. And as a matter of fact, if we were to go on my website right now, I would show you one of my showers because when we were starting out, I literally took a picture of my shower and we put it in the catalog because we needed a catalog picture of
that's
a of
great.
a slider, of a Denali slider. It's still in there. It's on the website right now. I could show it to you.
That's great. That's great. You came through for me, and I told you I have a story on mine, which
Yeah.
you might cringe and laugh. We started. I've always wanted a frameless shower door, and I've never had one. I've lived in this house for 26 years. We had a old fashioned 3/16 frame door,
Mhm.
and it's just one of those things that never got around to it, even though we had a fabricator. Never got around to it. Just never pulled the trigger. And last year, I said to my wife, I said, I want to do a frameless shower door. And she goes, well, can we, redo the bathroom? And I'm like, okay, let's redo the bathroom. We'll put in a shower door. Well, the bathroom redo has been an absolute disaster. It had to be torn down 3 different times because we had bad
Oh,
contractors. And
oh,
we still do not have a shower door in yet. We started this last
oh,
April. And so soon I'm going to get a shower door in there, and I can't wait to tell you that I finally have, for the first time in my life, a frameless heavy shower door. So
wow.
and so it's just comical that my wife looks at me and she says, "This is your fault. You wanted the shower door," and I'm like, "Well, you wanted to remodel the bathroom." So
Yeah.
we paid the price on that one. It's been unbelievable.
No one ever thought it would take a year, though. I mean, that's insane. That ought to take 2 months, 3 months at the outside.
Yeah. It's been one of those nightmares that you would see like on HGTV, except there's nobody to come in and be happy about fixing it. It's been unbelievable. We've gotten our money back from one general contractor who just wanted to run away from the job. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been something else. But soon we're gonna
I
have
was gonna
that.
say it's
And
got to be close now, right? It's got
yeah,
to be close now.
it
Okay,
is,
good.
it is. And so, and now the big question is, I have to find an installer here in Michigan, Southeast Michigan, to do it. And what's funny is that the shower door co-op, I don't think has anybody in Southeast Michigan. So I'm gonna have to work some connections and see who can come put a shower door in my place. So hopefully that doesn't take another year, or else I'm in deep trouble.
Yeah. Hopefully not. Well, I think you may have a connection or two in this business, Max. You
I
just might.
might. I think I'm shooting for that. FHC-USA.com is the website. We'll break this up into two questions.
Mhm.
First and foremost, the campus. How's it been moving to the campus? I see the pictures, I see the videos. I mean, it blows my mind, and I only see the pictures and the videos. What's it like
Mhm.
for you? How's it coming along? Obviously, great for production. Talk to me about, the kind of the move to this unbelievable new operation in LA.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, it's the former Firestone building. I'm on a street called Firestone. It's called Firestone because of this place. This building was built in 1928, so it's almost 100 years old. And it is a monster. I mean, it is so over-engineered. It is great. On the campus, which is 26 acres, we have 1 million square feet. So what's beautiful about the building I'm sitting in right now, the big main building, is that all of our operations are downstairs and all of our manufacturing is upstairs. And that's something that Mr. Freeze and our group and anyone who's been in this side of the business has always wanted. We wanted to pair them up together because when you have manufacturing separate and it's 2 miles down the road, you load the product onto a truck. That truck takes it there. Now you unload it at the other. We just send it downstairs. I mean, downstairs. How easy is that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been an incredible uh, advantage for us. I mean, we realize we're growing at a rate that normal companies don't grow, at which normal companies don't grow. So, we have had a lot of really good things go our way to be able to have the opportunity to be in this building. And this building is just incredible. I mean, you'll see it.
One
Someday
of
you'll
the,
see it.
one of these
Really soon.
days, Andrew Herring is one of my best people in the world. With me is has invited me numerous times, and just the timing
Mhm.
hasn't worked out. But we're going to get there. On FHC though, how's business? How's life? How's the rest of 2026 looking for you guys? Everything hanging in there? I mean, again, when you have so many different things going, it's probably hard to kind of get your arms wrapped around it. But how's it all going for you out there?
Well, it's going really, really well. Things are going very well for FHC. We just opened our latest service center in Teterboro, New Jersey, and that was open in actually just in the middle of February. So it's only been a month that it's been open. We're seeing great, great success out there. I mean, it's something that we desperately needed was another another service center somewhere in the Northeast, and we've got it. And business is great. We're really thriving here. And I think what it is that our company brings a lot of the sensibilities of a of our previous life, back over at the other place, the other three-letter company. Um, we were always very concerned about customer service, answering the phone, having a live person answer the phone, having technical assistance available to you at just with the transfer of a phone call or a direct phone call. We're hearing so much from our customers that they're dissatisfied with the impersonal service that they're getting, elsewhere at
Right.
other places, and they are clamoring for this type of attention and this type of detail, and that's where we thrive. So as a result, our business is doing well.
And the tagline of "Now you have a choice," I think is pretty appropriate, right?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And it 5 years ago when I would go on these different Facebook groups, I'd always see nothing but part numbers from other companies. Now I'm seeing, hey, does anybody use the FHC Denali? Hey, how
Yeah.
about, and I'm seeing our name come up a lot more. So we still, believe it or not, have to make people aware that we exist, even at Glassbuild. Oh, who are you guys? what is that? What do you guys do? And it's like, really? Okay. Yeah, we got work to do. We got work to do.
No, no doubt. Well, and that also drives you because I don't think you guys are the types that will rest on your laurels at all. I don't think you'll ever really feel like you're on top of the mountain. I just, at
Oh,
least from the outside looking in, I don't see that as an attitude at FHC. Is that okay? We're good. I don't see that ever kind of coming up.
no, I think you're reading that correctly. And it's funny because even our own people were saying, we usually don't have so many new things in shower doors and frameless shower doors. We usually just maintain. I go, well, there's a new sheriff in town. So we have a lot of new things in frameless shower doors and meaningful things, not just things that are just throwing things out to just do things.
Yeah,
You know,
well, the new things that you mentioned, the gasket and obviously the hydraulic hinge, that's something again, that's a game changer. So kudos to you and the gang there. That is huge. That is huge. I've been very fortunate to have Danny Donahue of FHC on the pod. FHC-USA.com is the website. Danny, thank you so much for doing the pod. Thank you for everything you're doing for the industry via NGA. Very grateful for that. And keep up the great work. I look forward to seeing you in person one of these days.
thanks, no problem. And I'm sure I will see you at either AIA or the Glass Build, one of the two. And thank you so much for having me on the show. I really do appreciate the opportunity, to be able to say a little bit about the company myself. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Matt.
Honor's all mine. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hey Glazers and Fabricators, FHC, the frameless hardware company, is here to support your business. In addition to offering a complete selection of glazing tools and supplies to get the job done right, we design, engineer, and manufacture a comprehensive offering of frameless shower door systems, heavy glass doors, aluminum entrances and storefronts, architectural railings, transaction and display hardware, privately owned and American made. FHC prioritizes you, the customer. You now have a choice. Visit FHC-USA.com.
Okay. Next up on the From the Fabricator podcast, I'm thrilled to have a couple folks from the Shower Door Co-op, but they also have their own companies and doing quite well, and I'm excited to dig into this. I've got Christina Elia from the Shower Door Guy, and you can find them online at theshowerdoorguy.com. And I've got Shannon McKinney from DT Glass, and they're online at dtglassinc, all one word.com. And they're involved with the Shower Door Co-op, and you can find that online at showerdoorprofessionals.com. And we're going to dig into all of this. Shannon, Christina, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
It's awesome. I've had Christina before. You were on with your dad a while back, so it's still good to catch up with you. And we get a lot of new listeners and a lot of new watchers. So I'll start with you, Christina. Some people may know your background from listening or seeing the pod before, but let's start with you. Give me your origin story, where you're born, grew up, and how you made it to the wild and wonderful glass and shower door industry.
Oh, it is wild and wonderful. I will tell you all about it. So my dad's been doing shower glass since the late 80s, early 90s with a company called Plymart. And I started with him in 2020. I had graduated from college in 2016. I went to Georgia Tech. Um, I was doing consulting, software consulting, and I was burning out of my job. My dad needed some help. His shop had gotten pretty big. He went off on his own in 2011, and through word of mouth, he was very successful. So we're thankful for that, but we are trying to, manage it, of course. So, I started with him in 2020, right before COVID swept the East Coast, and we really didn't know what to expect. Things were shutting down, regulations were changing daily, lots of fear, lots of confusion. And then all of a sudden, people started remodeling
Right.
and the business doubled, in just a couple months and then
Nice.
nearly tripled. So we've moved twice in 2 years. And now I've been with my dad for 6 years and slowly beginning to take over most of the operations.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I love the whole how you got into the business because even though my family was in the business, I got the same speech of, "Hey, I could really use your help," and then I got stuck in there, and then the rest was history too. So I don't know if I was as successful as you have been, so that's cool. I'm happy for you. Talking about successful Shannon, let's talk about DT Glass and you, but let's start with you and your background and where you're born, got started, and so on. Let me have it.
Well, I was born in California and I met my husband in California, but he considered himself an Oregonian. So he wanted to come back home to Portland, Oregon. So in 1990, I moved up with him. We've been talking about this year will be our 36-year anniversary.
Wow.
Long time. So we moved up to Oregon and I started my career as a CPA. And I really didn't enjoy public accounting, taxes, and audit. I went into consulting and I loved that. Did a lot of manufacturing consulting. So that was fun. Did some operations management and managed employees. So my husband bought the company in 2010. It's been in existence since 1997. It was owned by a friend, a whole series of things. So he bought it in 2010, and that, if you remember, is like the bottom of the recession.
Great recession. I remember it way too well. Keep going. Sorry. Yeah.
No place to go but up. So
Right.
since 2010, we've seen continuous improvement. And I joined the company in 2012. And as I walked in, I said, okay, I've got finance, I've got management, I know manufacturing and consulting, I know how to lead people. What does my company need? And the answer was sales and marketing. Oh, a CPA who does sales and marketing, that was like torture. So that's what I've been working on and looking at, trying to figure out how to do that as best I can. And in 2017, we decided to start our own fabrication plant. So before that, we were just doing install and we were buying from the local, fabricators, and we decided to do it ourselves. So 2017, it's been a little while now, and it's going pretty good. I wouldn't go back. I'd hate to do it again, but I wouldn't go back.
No doubt, and you know that the CPAs of the world hate marketing people. It's like a big rivalry. So you've gone to the other side. You can't go back now. You know that they will not accept you back in the CPA world. Banned, big time. Because usually, as a marketing person, it was always the CFO or the controller who hated me. Because marketing people spend money. And that's the problem. So, but welcome to the good side of the world. I'm glad you're on our side. So you guys got into fabrication, and so you do your own fabrication. But Christina, you're just a straight. A little bit about the shower door guy. You guys just are a straight installer, or what else do you do down there in Georgia?
Yeah, so we sell, design, install primarily shower doors, but we have also gotten into wine cellars, stair rails, office partitions are very popular, all kinds of things. But yeah, we don't fabricate. We have a lot of great fabrication partners. We're lucky that way.
Yeah.
There's still issues from time to time, but they make good on it. And our customers are great. So for the most part, so
Yeah.
we are really thankful, and we are sticking to what we do best for now.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And Shannon, as a fabricator, that's a whole different world from the installing. How has that been having kind of those two worlds there, almost competing in your in your life? How's that all gone?
Well, first we only fabricate for ourselves.
Okay.
So we're only working on our own product, no competition there.
Good.
But it was interesting when we started fabricating, we'd seen the mistakes that other people had made, and we're going, how are we going to keep from doing all of that? And it's really easier when you're just making for yourself. We know what type of hinge cutouts we like to use. We know what deductions we like. It's just for us. We don't have to keep a bunch of people straight, which I think is what gets in the way of a lot of fabricators doing what the customer wants. I wanted to mention that it's been really awesome too. Since we fabricate, we're able to do our own back painted glass. we love doing that. So we
Nice.
got we have a paint booth, and we got certified to do that. And then recently in November, we started doing our own antique mirror.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And
Yeah.
it's making a comeback too. That's a product that is coming back fast.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It was just, there was a company locally that had been in business since 1911, and we would just order from them and everything was fine, but then they went out of business, tried to sell it to someone, that didn't work out, and so we're just going, we can't lose antique mirror in the Portland market.
Yeah.
We have to do it. But luckily, the guy who'd been doing it for 40 years came on board. He's training us, and we're getting the gist of it all. Learn a 100-year process as quick as we can.
Love it, love it. Congrats, congrats. So I've got Christina Elia from Shower Door Co-op and the Shower Door Guy, and Shannon McKinney from DT Glass, and we are going to talk about the Shower Door Co-op. And so I've got a bunch of questions. Obviously, if you went to Glass Build last year, you probably ran into these two and the rest of the crew from the Shower Door Co-op. They were wearing very cool pins, and they also had a neat thing going on with the shower door setup. So let's just start a little bit about the Shower Door Co-op, and I'll start with you, Christina. How did it get started, and how right now is it all going?
Yeah, well, it got started over time. A gentleman named Chris Phillips started a Facebook page where we all kind of met. A lot of us kind of met, and he would do calls and we would chat weekly, and we got together at Glass Build, and we realized how much fun that was, and the camaraderie there, the community, comparing notes, collaborating on projects. I mean, it's been wonderful over the years. And at one point, my dad said something along the lines of, what if we got together and created some kind of, lead generation program? And, a lot of people were excited about that. And some other people had a similar idea too. I think Bill Dobman was thinking, well, we could do some marketing together. And,
Right.
Shannon, I think, thought, well, we could put together some education together. So it grew into this big idea of, if we collaborate, we are bigger than the sum of our parts.
Right.
And it's going great. It's going exactly like that, except the piece that we didn't think we needed and never thought would happen. A lot of vendors have wanted to get involved, and we're really thankful for that. We did not start as a purchasing co-op. We're really not a purchasing co-op. That's not how we're set up. But there's so much vendor interest right now and collaboration in that space that a lot of our time is going towards that.
Gotcha. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you there. Or is
Oh,
that...
no. Well, that's really it.
Okay.
It's going very well. It's growing a lot quicker than we could have imagined. And I think we have 29 members, 30 members right now.
Nice, nice. And I'll ask you a little bit more about that in a second. But Shannon, any thoughts on just getting this thing off the ground?
Well, it's been a little over a year now, and during the first year, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out who we were and what we were doing. People would ask us questions about, well, what is this thing and how does it work? And we struggled to really figure it out, but we're getting our feet under us now, and people are understanding it. And the biggest part that's come out of it, like Christina said, we're looking at leads, or how we could do education or whatever, but the community is the biggest part. And we did a survey recently with all of our members, our shareholders, because we're a co-op, and resoundingly the community was what everybody just loved the most about it. It's great.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a co-op, but the hot thing right now in our industry are peer groups. So this is very similar to that, and you have the ability to grow a little bit as a community, which I think is pretty cool. What is the process? And I'll start with you, Shannon. The process for somebody to become a part of it. So you're a shower door person, where I'm at here in Michigan. Do I just go to the website at the showerdoorprofessionals.com and jump in, or what is the process? Take me through somebody who may be interested in joining.
Well, I love that you're going back and forth with the questions, but Christina's in charge of membership, so I'm going to let her go on this one.
All right, all right. I'll pop back to you, Christina. Knock it out. What happens? What's the process?
Yes, so anyone who's interested in becoming a member can go to showerdoorprofessionals.com, and there's a link to join the co-op right on the homepage. And it just prompts you to fill out a form. It's pretty quick. And that just, we have a pipeline where we get new members vetted, potential members vetted, and we do have some requirements. You know, we want somebody who's been in business for at least 3 years, just so they have their feet under them.
Right.
We want somebody who, you know, generally knows what they're doing, pays their bills, things like that. So, you know, we're looking at all of those things.
Gotcha, gotcha. And so, I mean, I looked at the map, and I mean, you're starting to fill in spots, but this is really kind of, you know, just scratching the surface. I mean, Shannon, am I right there? I mean, you're nowhere near where you want to be.
Yeah. When we were trying to figure out how big can we be, what do we want to do, and we definitely like representation across the country. So I started saying, you know, I'd like us to match the House of Representatives, because that's all based on population, so it makes sense. So yeah, I'm thinking 300 or so. Is that how many there?
You shoot to 435. Isn't that the House of Representatives? If my social studies remembrance is in my head here, so. But yeah, that works. I mean, I like that thought process. And before we move on, I'm just curious. Anything new that you all have put out since you've started? Any additions to the process? That maybe people aren't aware of. And I guess I'll start with you, Christina. Anything new that people should be aware of?
Oh my gosh, all the time. We have some incredible benefits with a lot of our vendor partners that are, monetary in addition to the community, which has really jumped off our calls. Most of our members attend the calls, and given we have about 30 members, we're having more than 20, probably closer to 25 on every single call. And there's a lot of community collaboration. We have a private community page where we share information and collaborate on things, ask questions, and it's private so people can be specific and
Right.
be open. And, our vendors aren't in there, although we love our vendors, but
Right.
it's for us, it's for our page. So, and Shannon spent a lot of time getting that set up and finding the right software for that. So thank you, Shannon. We're super lucky for that.
Yeah. And that had to be an adventure, Shannon, because that you need the privacy. You want people to be comfortable, but you need to lay things out. How was that process? And are you happy, or you still have things to do?
Oh, still have things to do, but loving how it's turning out. It was a little bit backwards because we started finding out from some of our members that they'd like to have training, and they'd like to have installer training, but a lot more specific. NGA has the My Glass class, which is fantastic, but people were saying, I'd like to be able to do my own specific training down
Right.
to here's where you park and here's how you load your van. And so I started searching for that, and I found a software that had courses, basically course software. But then the one that I chose had a side community, so I went, well, that community is interesting. And then our survey came back. People were more interested in community, so it kind of flipped it. But it's been really great, and we still have our plans for training in the future. But it's been great. We had everybody jump on board for a call, and we had a good call that was going to be a good draw for everybody to get signed up, and it went off without a hitch. So, and yeah, just one more thing under our belt.
I love it. I love it. And we're going to talk about your vendors in a second, but I've got two people from the Shower Door Co-op with me. Christina Elia, she's from the Shower Door Guy down in Georgia. The showerdoorguy.com is her website. Shannon McKinney from DT Glass out in Oregon, website dtglassinc.com. And then the website you all have to know now is Shower Door Professionals, all one word, showerdoorprofessionals.com. So you can get involved. If you're in the shower door business as an installer, you want to get involved. And obviously as a vendor, vendor. We'll talk about that in a second. But I always break up the podcast about halfway through with a fun question, lighten the mood a little bit. Not that the shower door world is heavy. You guys are all hustling, but we lighten the mood a little bit. So for both of you, who is your favorite musical artist and or favorite kind of music? And Christina, we'll start with you.
Oh man, I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I'm really into Fleetwood Mac right now, just pretty randomly.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's great. I love it. I mean, that they're a classic. I mean, you cannot beat that. So I'm completely with you on that. Big Fleetwood Mac, and my son is determined to write a screenplay about Fleetwood Mac because that's you've seen like Queen has one out and Michael Jackson has one coming soon, Elton John. The Fleetwood Mac story would be incredible. I mean, if you look at
Really?
the background of the relationships in that band, but great music. Okay, yeah, that's a winner. Shannon, you got a tough one to top there. Favorite sort of music or group? Let's hear it.
Well, it's really tough. I mean, the category that I listen to, I think, is called adult alternative, but it runs the gamut. And my son makes fun of me because I'll throw in, like plain white teas into the Pandora and get a variety out, and it sounds good. And my son's making fun of me is like, yes, my mom listens to teenage angst anthems. And so, but I don't pay too much attention to all of those bands, but kind of a lifetime go-to has been Sheryl Crow.
Nice,
And
very nice.
thankfully, I don't go to a lot of concerts, but I've seen her in concert 4 times.
Wow.
Very,
Wow,
very
yeah.
odd.
Heck of an artist, heck of an artist, and don't feel bad because my comical thing with my kids is I like the music from High School Musical, so I have Corbin Bleu and Vanessa Hudgens on my iPod when I run or off my phone, and my kids just shake their heads. They're like, Dad, we watched that when we were little kids, and now you're still listening to it. But I listen to I run the whole gamut. I listen to everything from Eminem to to Joe Diffie or in country. So I'm all over the place. But I love your choices. Very, very cool. Very cool. And Sheryl Crow and Fleetwood Mac, good stuff. I could hang with you guys. I like it. All right. So back to business here. Back to the co-op and one more on the co-op. And you've mentioned vendors a couple times, and it's really not a surprise to me that vendors want to be involved. You're all very good people. It's a good business model. But if you are a vendor and you're not involved yet, what is that process to kind of get into your world? And I don't know, is that a Shannon question or a Christina question? Which one?
Yeah, it's Tina. She's overdoing her time with the co-op, which we're all grateful for. But yep.
Hit me, Christina. How does a vendor that's not involved yet get involved?
Oh, thanks, Shannon and Max. Vendors can get involved by reaching out to any member of the board of the co-op, which is, myself, Shannon, Mike Merlina of Ideal Glass, Lori Benish of Enclosures Unlimited, or Rob Gomez, who manages the follow-up software. He's an advisor to the board. But they can also go to showerdoorprofessionals.com and fill out the vendor interest form. We have a process to onboard vendors as well. We have a lot of different options available. So we have some ad hoc choices that, if somebody just wants to kind of dip their toe in and meet us and get to know us, we can do a blog post. We can do, we're going to eventually start a podcast, maybe. We can do case studies, community calls, things like that. But we are really looking for more long-term partnerships
Right.
and strategic partnerships with our suppliers. We all use similar suppliers. We all have similar needs. And it's not just things like a typical rebate program with a co-op. It can be something like, feedback sessions, like private feedback sessions. It can
Sure.
be research.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options. So we have an entire, vendor menu we've put together. And if anybody's interested, please reach out. We would love to figure out how to work together and just improve our industry, make sure we're all on the same page.
For sure, for sure. Showerdoorprofessionals.com is where that can be found, along with a lot more. And so I think that's and I like the idea. There's so much more you can do with the vendors than just, hey, be my best friend price wise. I mean, I think there's a lot there. So very, very cool. So Shannon, you and I talked earlier in the week. We were catching up unexpectedly, and I did ask you about the shower door challenge at Glass Build. How was that for you guys? And will you be back in Vegas in 2026? And just take me through your thoughts on that whole thing.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So the NGA did their task group to set up, what this booth would look like. And Christina and I, and that's where we met Lori Benish and recruited her into the Shower Door Co-op. Watch out, you get on one committee and you'll be recruited into the next one.
Sure.
So we were out there and we're really able to start creating something for the first time and see how it went. And we all loved it, and we met so many great shower people. At Glass Build, we've really appreciated the last several years where the NGA has really worked to create something for the shower door professionals. There's a lot of glazers out there and a lot of different activity besides shower doors. We're a little bit of a niche within this glass niche. One of the things we found, though, was that the Oh No shower was a real hit. So we had the challenge for anyone who wasn't there. We had a measure challenge where you would go in and design and measure a shower yourself and turn in what you came up with. But if you wanted to do a lot less work and just kind of bash someone else's work, which we're all capable of,
Sure,
in a nice way, my husband and Danny Donahue installed a shower, and we made it as bad as we possibly could. We were racking our brains, and everything we did, we tried to just really screw it up. So it had terrible gaps. It really shouldn't have been made that way. The panel was too big, not enough support, weird clips, weird colors. Everything was off. Everything we could do wrong, we did. And so the challenge was to pick apart this shower. How many things can you find? What did we end up with, Christina? Somewhere around like 40 different things that were wrong with this shower.
Something like that. It was fun though, and it was eye-opening for a lot of people. I think some people learned some things. They were like, "Oh, I actually like my clamps in that position. Why don't you?" And that's the kind of conversation we want to have. And
yeah.
I think it was shocking to the NGA. It was shocking to us, how many people were excited to get involved. And so now we're working with them to figure out what's next for this year.
Yeah.
And just a quick shout out to Eliben Morelos from Vitruloom Glass for providing us the glass for the Oh No shower. He came in clutch the very last minute and got that done for us, and that was not an easy feat. So I really, really appreciate Eliben.
Yeah, he's a good man, and I've been kicking myself because I've been in the Orlando area like 15 times, and I have not made it over to his place. And one of these days I have to. Very good guy, though. Very good guy. Good family. I saw he brought his whole family to the show, which was pretty cool. So I assume you'll be back in Vegas this fall. I know it's a little early, but that's the plan to have something in Las Vegas this fall?
We actually started the conversation with Jenny last week, and we're excited about it. And she let us know that we basically earned our way into a better location. We were a little bit off to the side, kind of see how it goes, but it went really well, and the NGA recognized that. So, yeah, they're looking for some creative ideas for next year, and I'm sure there will be a committee put together. So let Jenny Chase know at the NGA if you want to be involved in that, and we're looking forward to it.
Awesome. And yeah, Glass Build, is going to have some changes this year that I think are going to attract more people, and I think the more the merrier. So that's something big. A couple more questions for Christina, Elia from the Shower Door Guy, Shannon McKinney from DT Glass, and we're talking shower door co-op, and that website is showerdoorprofessionals.com, showerdoorprofessionals.com. So let's talk trends before we wrap it up. I got these couple questions. Trends, both of you are deep into it. You have a lot of knowledge of what's hot in the marketplace, what's hot in the streets. So Christina, starting with you, any hot trends that you're seeing that people need to be aware of, or it's catching your eye?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question because this encompasses so many things. Really big glass. People want bigger glass. They want giant glass walls. They don't want seams. They don't want hardware. So how to do that, how to do that safely, how to transport that, suction cups and other equipment and tools to use, how to communicate with your customer. All of those things are incredibly important, and how to make sure that it's a safe installation. I mean, there aren't that many guidelines. So what does that look like, and how do you make sure that it's safe? And then the second one I would say is, obviously gold hardware that's been around, but it continues to move and change and shake. And we've had a lot of great conversations with vendors about that. And so much so that one of our main vendors, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not,
You can
but
say whatever you want. This is it. You're free. Go for it. Yeah.
I think this is public
Yeah.
information, but Portal's Luxury Hardware out of
Hmm.
Kansas City is coming out with brushed bronze because they just didn't know how popular it was, how
Right.
much we needed it, and they turned around and did it as soon as we told them that we needed it.
Yeah, I love Eric Miller. It's one of my all-time favorites. So from Portals, so he's a great, great guy, and I know he's a big supporter of the Shower Door Co-op. So
Absolutely.
I think they sponsored one of your events in Orlando. Shannon, how about you? Any trends? I mean, because it's interesting for me. You're in the West Coast. Christina's in the East Coast. Maybe you see something different. Maybe it's black matte for you versus gold. But what's hot in the streets out in the Pacific Northwest?
Well, one of the trends that I've been following, and I think it's nationwide, I'm really watching the wellness trend and where glass can fit in that. So I really enjoy doing education. I love training. I spend a lot of time with designers teaching them how to design shower glass. And so I've been doing webinars and things with the National Kitchen and Bath Association, and they have been really focused on wellness. So things like putting saunas in your home, steam showers, and then in that bathroom next to the sauna and the steam shower, putting a plunge tub, and seeing glass used more in the interior of a home to bring more light in, the daylighting aspect, using glass. A lot of people aren't all that keen on the open concept. They want a
Hmm.
little bit more privacy, but they still want the light. So putting glass around home offices or TV rooms. So I'm kind of following that and where glass can fit.
Perfect. Yeah, and if you know me, I love use as much glass as you possibly can. So I'm a big fan of that. So I like it. I like it. One more question for Christina, Elia, and Shannon McKinney. Business for you both. We've talked about Shower Door Co-op is on a rocket ship. I have so much confidence in that. How about for you both personally, Shannon, DT Glass, everything going okay? What's the rest of 2026 shaping up for you guys out there?
Yeah, 2026 is looking pretty good. Again, it seems so specific to location.
Right.
I've talked to all of our members across the country, and some of them are booming, and others are bust. It was a tough 2025 up here for us, but talking to contractors and other suppliers in this area, everyone seems to be picking up. I get the impression that people were waiting for something to feel good about, to make them decide to spend the money.
Right.
And I don't think anything's arrived, but they might just be tired of waiting.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's fine, and it's finally about time. You have to keep moving on. How about you, Christina? How's life in Georgia? What's 2026 looking like for you guys?
It's looking great. We are the recipients of a lot of people from California, from Portland, from Chicago, New York. A lot of people are moving to the Atlanta area, and they are looking to remodel their home. So we're very busy. We're thankful for that. It comes with its own challenges, but we're very thankful for that. And, it is location specific. It does ebb and flow. We're preparing for a potential downturn in the coming years. But yeah, I mean, we're doing good this year.
Awesome. So before I wrap up, any final words on the shower door co-op? Anything I missed? Anything else you want to get out there, Shannon? Anything that we did not cover today to help properly educate the industry and the good stuff you guys are doing?
Well, anyone who's going shower door professionals co-op, I've never even heard of it. I have no idea what that is. Find out.
Yep.
You're going to want to know. Don't miss out.
Yep. Christina, anything else for you there to add?
Yeah, just come ask us. Just come talk to us. It's a lot of fun. Our community is wonderful, and it really is all about the community. There's not a huge time commitment or anything. We just chat a couple times a month. It's awesome.
It's fantastic. So I've had Christina Elia from the Shower Door Co-op and also the showerdoorguy.com, Shannon McKinney from the Shower Door Co-op and DT Glass, dtglassinc.com. And the important website, like I said, showerdoorprofessionals.com. Check them out. See what it is. Click on the links, whether you're a vendor or you're a possible member. Definitely worth it. So check that all out. Shannon, Christina, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And thank you for what you're doing. I think it's a great move for the industry. As an industry person, I'm tickled to death about what you're doing here. So congrats on that. And thank you for everything. Really appreciate that.
Back at you. Thanks for everything you do.
You bet. We'll see you at Glass Build. Thank you. We'll see you. Okay. Thank you to Shannon and Christina. And before that, Donahue from FHC. Shannon and Christina talking about the Shower Door Co-op and their own companies as well. Good stuff. And I thank them for being here and taking part. Also, thanks to FHC for their support of this podcast. They are supplying the best in shower hardware. It was built by the glazing industry for the glazing industry. FHC has your back. Check them out, fhc-usa.com. Great people doing really good things, and I am grateful to them for the support. Before I go, as always, talking a little TV and movies. We're going to stick with Apple this time. If you haven't seen the movie F1, it's pretty good. I like Brad Pitt, decent looking guy, I think. But good movie. Is it Oscar worthy? I don't know, but it was a good movie though. It passes sometimes. Great visuals and great sound, which I really, really like. And then TV show, it's in its third season. I may have talked about this, but I don't think so. The TV show Shrinking. That's on Apple. Harrison Ford has a lead role in it and plays a different role than you would expect. He's fantastic. The show is really, really, really well done. So check that out, Shrinking on Apple TV. So that wraps it up for this time around. We'll have a new podcast here coming in a few weeks. Again, different diversity of guests, different subject matter, and the schedule's filling up. I've got some pods all the way through July already scheduled, and I'm really excited to get some neat people who have accepted my invitation to be on here. So fun stuff ahead. So I thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting, and we will see you very soon. Thanks again.
Oh, the music is stopped.